You may have heard on the news about an animal species suddenly becoming extinct in the past few years. Unfortunately, our lack of concern about the environment and the never-ending rampant illegal hunting has caused many of these modern-day extinctions. On the other hand, you might be glad to know that many of these animals who existed thousands or maybe millions of years ago are already extinct. Otherwise, it would be us humans who wouldn't be around today. Here are 10 of history's most terrifying animals you should be glad are now extinct. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more awesome content, and click on the notification bell so you know when we publish new videos. Let's start. Number 10. Terror birds. Terror birds, also called forest wrasses, were called that for a reason. These giant flightless animals flourished in South America's savanna environment during the Miocene and early Pliocene epochs, which was about 60 million years ago. Recent findings discovered fossils that suggest that the last terror bird lived more than 1 million years before the first human existed. As carnivorous predators, the terror birds could outrun smaller animals such as horses and could reach speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. It is said that they could grow up to 10 feet tall and weigh up to 330 pounds. Surely you would not want to mess with a terror bird. It could break your bones with a single kick from its large T-Rex-like feet before it munches you alive with its massive beak. Number 9. Titanoboa. Many people are afraid of snakes, and for good reason, but imagine the horror if a giant snake came slithering into your backyard. The Titanoboa was a giant snake that would prey on smaller predators. They lived between the middle to late Paleocene epoch, around 58 to 60 million years ago, and thrived in the warm tropical waters. It could grow up to be 42 feet long and weigh as much as 2,500 pounds. Today's heaviest snake, the green anaconda, would look like a worm compared to the size of the Titanoboa. With its massive size, it would constrict to death large predators such as crocodiles before swallowing the victim's whole body. In 2012, Grand Central Terminal in New York displayed a full-scale model of Titanoboa. Looking at the replica, you can truly appreciate the fact that this creature is already extinct. Number 8. Gigantopithecus. Gigantopithecus was the largest ape that ever lived. These animals could be the modern-day Bigfoot if they were still alive. Considered as herbivores, they fed themselves from the plants of the tropical forest of China. They were said to have lived as early as 9 million years ago. These primitive apes could grow up to be 10 feet tall and weigh about 1,000 pounds. As plant-based animals, these apes might not have been a threat to humans, but in fact it might be the early humans who became a threat to them instead. According to studies, the last Gigantopithecus may have died about 100,000 years ago. According to Science Direct, these giants may have gone extinct because of inadequate food supplies due to climate change. Though not verified, other scientists also believe it might have been the early human overhunting these animals that wiped them off the face of the planet. Number 7. Helicoprion. What's scarier than a shark? Perhaps a shark with a circular saw in its lower jaw. These ocean predators, called helicoprions, looked like monsters from another world. They had a unique set of teeth set in a circular pattern called the tooth whorls. They lived in the early Permian period about 290 million years ago, and even survived the end Permian extinction. However, studies suggest that the last surviving species died 240 million years ago. In the 1980s, the largest ever tooth whorl was discovered. At a length of about 24 inches long, it was said it could have belonged to a helicoprion with a body length of about 39 feet. If helicoprions managed to survive until today, many ocean species would probably be extinct because of them. Number 6. Camerasouris. Camerasouris looked like a giant squid with a hard cone-shaped shell on its head. It lived in the Ordovician period about 470 million years ago in the shallow seas of Laurentia Baltica and Siberia. They were considered stalkers and would ambush predators mostly by lying on the seafloor, waiting to kill its prey with its massive tentacles. Camerasouris are regarded as one of, if not the largest, cephalopods to have ever existed. It would grow up to be a length of 12 meters long. If they were still alive, one of the worst things that could happen to you is when you go scuba diving and suddenly get ambushed by a Camerasouris. Number 5. Piranha. Today's regular-sized piranhas have a deadly reputation as the flesh-eating fishes. Movies made about these sharp-toothed river dwellers are greatly exaggerated, but the first descendants of the modern-day piranhas are actually closer to what you see in movies. About 8 to 10 million years ago, in the late Miocene epoch in Argentina, a much worse species existed and were called megapiranhas. These giant carnivorous critters had very sharp teeth that could grow up to a length of 28 inches and weighed up to 22 pounds. Scientists managed to figure out its tooth patterns from the fossils that were discovered, but the rest of its body is still unknown. If megapiranhas still existed, just a horde of these scary creatures would have the capabilities to kill any animal in its path. If you accidentally caught one and survived, you might live a life of sleepless nights. Number 4. Pulmonoscorpius. These early scorpions had every physical feature our modern-day version has, with 8 legs, a pair of pincers in front, and a stinger on its tail. The only difference is its colossal size. Pulmonoscorpius was a giant scorpion that lived during the Vician epoch, about 327 to 342 million years ago. It would grow up to a length of 28 inches long. Fossils of these venomous predators were found in many places in Scotland. Despite their abnormally large size, these giants were still not as big as most dinosaurs. However, if they still existed, you might wish dinosaurs were the ones who survived instead of them. Pulmonoscorpius didn't merely kill its prey. It would first inject its victim with poison. The poor victim would then be paralyzed and become unconscious so the scorpion could eat it alive. The mere thought of its eating habits is genuinely paralyzing. Number 3. Andrewsarchus. Though its name may sound like a dinosaur's, it's actually not even a reptile. Andrewsarchus were probably the largest land mammalian predator that ever existed. They lived in the Middle Eocene epoch, about 38 to 47 million years ago, in a place known today as Inner Mongolia, China. The actual size of Andrewsarchus is uncertain because there isn't enough evidence of its existence. Its one and only known fossil is a skull measuring 83 centimeters or almost 33 inches, which was discovered in 1923. According to research, the Andrewsarchus was the mammal version of the carnivorous velociraptor. Recent studies suggest that it was closer to primitive hippos or even pig-like entelodonts because of their long jaws and wide cheekbones. But with all these speculations, one thing is for sure: you should be glad they don't exist anymore. Ironically, though, it is believed that they are the forefathers of goats and sheep, which we domesticated to get eaten today. Number 2. Megalodon. Sharks are another flesh-eating aquatic animal that still exists, but thank goodness their ancestors don't. Megalodons are not just the biggest sharks to have ever lived, but they're also likely the largest and most powerful predators the world has ever known. The enormous size of these animals makes today's great white shark look like a newborn puppy. They lived from the early Miocene to the Pliocene epoch, approximately 4 to 23 million years ago. It was believed that for 14 million years, this huge predator feasted on its prey until it went extinct more than 2 million years ago. Megalodon could grow to a length of 50 feet and weigh up to 130,000 pounds. To put its size into perspective, this giant shark had 250 teeth, and each tooth could grow to about 7 inches long, and were arranged in 5 rows spanning about 2 meters. Imagine how scary oceans would be if these predators were still alive today. Number 1. Caprosuchus. Now for our last animal on the list, we have this reptile that looks like a crossbreed between a crocodile and a T-Rex, called the Kaprosuchus. It's a long-legged version of your typical crocodile. Its name comes from the 2 Greek words that mean boar crocodile. Later on, it was nicknamed boar croc due to its 3 sets of teeth that resembled the tusks of a wild boar. Similar to today's crocodiles, Caprosuchus were carnivores just with longer legs and could run faster than today's crocodile. They lived during the late Cretaceous epoch and became extinct 66 million years ago. They were found in places such as Africa and Niger. When scientists discovered the Caprosuchus' half-meter-long skull in 2009, they estimated that its body could grow up to 6 meters long. It would be fascinating to see a long-legged crocodile running. That is, unless it was running towards you. Lucky for us, Caprosuchus doesn't exist anymore. And there you have the 10 most terrifying animals you should be glad are extinct. Are you pleased with the list? If we missed an animal that you think should be included, sound off in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time!